Yeah, and not only, with that television show, I mean, with Raw Craft, that also brought out like the brightest light within SJC, considering the fact,
Yeah.
rest in peace to a hero to many, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Dude, like building that custom snare for Trey Cole was just like and you know what's even more
Yeah.
insanely like into detail oriented with how it went about, like it's solely focused on the craft of everything that your guys do in the warehouse, like your
Yeah.
woodworkers. And yeah, dude,
Yeah,
like,
they did such a good job
oh,
with that, man. It was
They
amazing.
did, man. I'm so glad and lucky. I'm so happy that we got to do that, man. When they called me to do it, and they were telling me about some of the other businesses that they were having on the show, like a guy was making knives out of melting down a meteorite, and custom tailored suits using all these crazy materials and textiles. I was like, "Are you sure you want us on there? Like, we could totally turn down a drum like we did it with Jack Daniels, by the way.
right.
Like, are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, this will be so rad." That was such a cool opportunity, man. And yeah, like you said, rest in peace, Anthony. I'm so lucky to have gotten to met him and hang out with him and do that. I mean, he was in our factory for a week building drums with us, drinking Balvenie. Like,
Does he live? Does his TV persona live up to the hype of what he is in real life,
dude,
off camera?
That's awesome.
that his mystique and his like roughness is just.
Yeah.
I was always on edge with him because I'm like, I don't know what he's gonna ask me next, and he's such a hated dude and he's such a confident dude that I was just like, I don't even want to hang out and talk to you because I just feel like I'm gonna make a fool out of myself because you're so cool. He definitely lived up to. He was the same. He was the same as what you see on TV. It was just like, what's up, I'm Anthony.
I think it was really cool for you, like talking to you, like kind of off the record with this stuff, like how it brought two parts of your life into perspective in like 15 minutes. You said that you had, when we talked to you earlier, you had the Green Day poster behind you that was over your bed.
Yeah.
And in that episode, you're talking to like the artisan of artisans, the guy that kind of puts people that never get the spotlight. He gives them a platform, and you're getting this platform with him. He's showing the guys behind the scenes for you that kind of make SJC what SJC is, that would never get a chance. And then you see Trey Cool looking at the hard work and like the craftsmanship of this insane snare that I've never seen in my life. Like, it's incredible. Just to see those two things come together for you, like you could see the genuine pleasure that you get from that. Like that, like I showed my wife the other day, and we were both just like in awe of it. Like, this is incredible. This is so neat.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm again just so lucky to have had that opportunity to showcase, our passion in that style and at that level with, like you said, with two heroes, Anthony Bourdain, Trey Cool. Like, that was the coolest thing ever, man. And like, my wife and I got dinner with Anthony and then Trey and his wife. Like, and my son was there. My son was like 6 months old at the time, and like my little dude, I got a bunch of pictures of Trey, my kid, with Anthony. Like,
imagine that story you're gonna have with your kid when he's like 21 years old and you have your first beer together. Like, it's gonna be like, dude, that's gonna be so crazy.
I got this. I kept this. Anthony signed this bottle for me.
Oh my god, that's priceless, man.
Not opening it. This will be the first I have with my son, like, legit.
That's amazing.
Let's go.
Well, watch that episode and I'll be like, here you go, man. By the way, we drank a lot of these when we were filming.
It was probably an unlimited amount of barrels that came through.
One of the lugs on the first drums we made was a little crooked.
So we just went back to it and started again from scratch. Oh my god, dude, that's amazing. Yeah, here to many, dude. Like, I think he just appreciates the art behind tailoring to certain industries, which there isn't many of. So I think SJC being the one more prominent drums companies out there, that's just so cool and humbling to gotta be like working with that.
Yeah, you could tell he was like really into it, because obviously Anthony Bourdain has done a lot in his life. He doesn't have to do a show like that. Like, he wanted to. You could tell he was genuinely like, so why are you cutting it like that? What does that do to the sound? And like, everything we were doing, he was just like, huh. Even if the cameras weren't rolling, he was just like, huh. Okay, yeah, I get that. Hit it. Let me hear it. And like, just really cool. And then again, hanging out with him and Trey, like without the camera, talking about just like food and life, and like hearing them talk. My wife and I didn't say a word the whole time. We were just like, we're like learning so much right now.
Wow.
So cool.
Oh, my girl would freak out. She had like a birthday party literally just for Green Day, like when she was like 9 years old. Like to have Trey cool, and dude, she would freak out. She was in that situation too.
How did that relationship like, because you've been working with Trey Cool for quite some time now, right?
Yeah. That was crazy, man. I obviously being a fan of Trey, he was one of my favorite drummers when I was a kid, and even now. I just one day went after it. Like I was chatting with my buddy Mike Fasano, who's a world-renowned drum tech. He does huge records. He's a Los Angeles-based drum tech. You know, he's done Blink-182. He's done a ton of the Green Day records. I was just chit-chatting with him on Facebook, and he was like, I'm teching for Green Day, their Uno Dos Trey record. I was like, that's sick. The studio is in Oakland, California, or was.
Yeah.
They've got a bunch of studios now. They've got one in Newport. But anyway, they were recording their new record, and I just so happened to be flying out a month later to tech for Rancid. I did a bunch of drum tech work back in the day to just get out there and network and be with our drummers. And so I'm like, I wonder if we made some snare drums, if I could drop them off for Trey. So I'm like, yo, Mike, do you think I could do this? He's like, dude, for sure. So the guys created 4 really awesome snare drums, and we packed them up, huge box. This box was like the size of me, really, really heavy. I flew with it to San Francisco when I went out there for the Rancid shows, and I went out a day early and literally flew with this box, man. I'll make a long story short, as short as possible. But I almost got mugged because I'm on the BART, the San Francisco train station at like midnight.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy out there, man. It's
a really, really sketchy area, and and I got this box of $5,000 worth of snare drums basically, and I got it. I brought it to the studio. Mike let me in. I dropped the snares off. I unboxed them, showed him. He's like, "Do you want to say hey?" And like, I didn't even want to like, and boy, I was just like, let me just have him check out these snares, and like, if it happens, it will. And like a week later, I got home, and I'll never forget it, man. I was visiting my grandma at her nursing home, and like Trey called me.
Whoa, he called you directly?
Yeah, he just called me. He's like, dude, like these snare drums are badass, man. Can I have them? And I was just like, yeah, dude.
Have them all.
Nah, man, I was hoping you'd send them back.
Right, and so it just kind of started there. Where like I dropped the snares off. He liked them. He used a few of them on the record. We ended up building him a few one-off drums because that record process for them was pretty long.
Oh yeah, it was like 36 songs. Yeah,
they were recording for a while. So we ended up building a few things, like again through Mike Fasano, and Green Day goes on tour for that record cycle, and I surprised Trey with the Twisted Bunny kit. I know Trey loves vintage drums, so there's a Kanan Top Hat kit that was made in the 60s that I love, and so I was like, what if we replicate that kit, but with the Green Day Bunny and the TC shield, like the Buddy Rich style shield. Made him that kit, and I went to their show in Rhode Island and coordinated it with his drum tech, Kenny, at the time, and set the drum set up backstage. Trey didn't know I was there. He came in the dressing room and saw the kit, and he was just like, wait, what? Like, what is it? And so that was it, man. Like, we became friends. Like, Billy Joe came in and was like, this thing's badass. His son Joey ended up getting a drum set. And it was just like this cool, like, friendship building.
Wow.
I ended up going out to California and hanging out with Trey, and where he lives, and we talked for a while. And then he flew to Massachusetts to visit our factory.
What a good dude, man.
Yeah,
what a
great time.
And yeah, he came in and like we gave him a tour of the factory. We went out to dinner. And the really cool thing during all this, like he was starting to date his now wife Sarah. And we just became friends, man. My wife and myself and Trey and his now wife would just go out to dinner and talk and chat business and music and drums, obviously. We ended up going to each other's weddings, and like it was just this really cool natural friendship that built where now Trey plays SJC and like
wow,
weird, cool
Yeah,
And
surreal.
it all started from a basement, man, and here you are.
Yeah, honestly,
That's crazy.
And you know what's so cool? I don't know if you saw it recently, but Billy, and Billy's kid has a drum set of SJC. He's jamming with his kids now during quarantine. Did you see any of that content at
It's
all?
so crazy.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I love it, man. And like it was just like so cool. Billy's got a kit at his studio that his two sons got for him for Christmas one year, and like we made Mike Dirnt a drum set. Like everybody in Green Day and their kids have SJC. Like what?
That's incredible, dude.
Great.